Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm going to detail the death of a notorious Rollin 40 Crip member named Tiny Hardhead. Tiny Hardhead is a well-known Rollin 40 Crip and has been talked about a lot in the media in the last few years, from the likes of people like C-Mac and several others.
Tiny Hardhead from 40s. Drink, kid. Me, kid, and Lady Ducky would drink years. On neighborhood Crip, I'm getting this right here. You know what that is? That's a Still Reserve 211 on wood. That's strong.
And Tiny Hardhead in his time was one of the most known faces from his section. He gained a reputation for pressing enemies and being an active gang member and doing whatever for his gang. And there's even viral videos out there of Tiny Hardhead running into enemies from Van Ness Gangsta Brims in the mall and trying to start an altercation. Shout out to the infamous Mel TV for posting the video. Check out his channel.
We got the 40s and the girlies running in the mall. I'm about to put this on Facebook. They running.
The girlies all last night. We didn't find no girlies out on the
They run. Put on your shirt.
already know.
He on the phone calling his homies. It's 4 of y'all though. It's only 3 of them.
Wish I need a burner, cuz. We don't got no burner. Let us get our head up, cuz.
The 40s have a deep hate for many nearby blood sets, like all the Brim factions, which include the Fruittown, Van Ness, and the Hoover Park Brims, along with other blood gangs like BPS and the Rollin 20 Bloods. But the 40s also have a deep hate for the Hoovers, which they've been beefing with the Hoovers since the 80s. The 40s beef with every Hoover faction, and at a point, their beef with the 4 Trey Hoovers was the deadliest. The 4 Trey Hoovers' numbers deteriorated off several factors, like many members dying from the war, many going to prison, and just a drastic change in the community. That left the 40s in prime position to claim the area, which later became the dark side of the 40s. But even though the 4 Trey Hoovers weren't in that section anymore, they still had to worry about other Hoover sets, most notably the closest ones to them, being the Phi Deuce Hoovers. And that brings us to this story. On July 28, 2018, a member of the Phi Deuce Hoovers was shot on 88th Street and Vermont Avenue. He survived, and another person was shot as well, but he also survived. Several hours later, at 1:44 a.m. on July 29, 2018, police responded to a report of a shooting in front of a house located on West 43rd Street in Los Angeles. This was within the territory of the Rollin 40 Crips. When police arrived to the scene, they saw people yelling and a deceased male laying on the sidewalk. The male victim was Tiny Hardhead. He'd been shot multiple times, and he would die to his injuries. Police encountered a second victim who was a minor. She remained nameless. She was bleeding from a wound in her hand where she had been shot. She was crying and seemed shocked and in pain. With only being shot in the hand, she survived. Police later obtained video footage from multiple surveillance cameras near the scene of the shooting, and also near a Phi Deuce Hoover member named Casey's home, which was located on 53rd Street, and several Hoover members were known for being in that area. Police reviewed surveillance footage that showed a minor from Phi Deuce Hoover, who I refer to as DS, arriving at Casey's house around 9:30 p.m., July 28, 2018. The police also viewed multiple people in cars coming to and leaving Casey's house all night. The last Hoovers to arrive at the house were 2 men named Joshua and Destaney. Video surveillance will later show that DS, Josh, and Destaney and several others left Casey's house and got into multiple cars. At 12:38 a.m., July 29th, 2 cars will appear on West 43rd Street where Tiny Hardhead was killed, and surveillance would capture him being murdered. The video will show 3 men shooting at him, and all 3 will later flee the scene. 2 cars would then be seen leaving the area splitting up, and one of the cars will ride back at Casey's home, where all the Phi Deuce Hoovers will later meet back up and will be seen in the driveway talking and shaking hands. On the afternoon of July 31st, 2018, the Los Angeles Police Department Gang Enforcement Unit observed Casey and Destaney grabbing a black bag from the side of Casey's house. Casey and Destaney ran when they saw the police. The police started to give chase, but then they saw Casey's mom trying to get rid of the black bag, and everyone was apprehended. The police confiscated the bag, which had a gun in it. Police officers searched the area and found 2 more guns. A gun examiner tested the guns and determined that the guns was used in Tiny Hardhead's death. And everyone involved would later be arrested and charged with the murder. With camera footage and the guns used in the murder all being pinned against him, it was easy to build a case. Casey is now 28, and his earliest parole date is in 2036, and arrests involved with their sentences were left unclear, especially with Diaz being a minor at the time of the killing. The war between the 40s and the Hoovers took Tiny Hardhead's life, but many people put on the internet it was members of the Bloods who killed him, but that's completely false. Tiny Hardhead died at the age of 28, and he's still highly respected and remembered by his community. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.